iDS Talks is a podcast dedicated to helping corporations and law firms find new and effective ways to leverage data, giving them a decisive advantage both in and out of the courtroom.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of iDS Talks. My name is Jonathan Sachs, Chief Revenue Officer at iDS, and I'm joined today by Tim LaTulippe, a director out of iDS's London office. We're here today to talk about version 9.0 of his D3 email, delightfully digestible data. In this particular version, he covers recovery and extraction of data from mobile phones, AI-assisted review, and recent iDS events that took advantage of the good weather months over there in London. So welcome, Tim.
Thank you, Jonathan. Good to be here. And I hope as a moderator, you've got some stringent debate rules, so you can cut off my microphone if you need to.
Yeah, I'm gonna limit you to 1 minute responses.
Okay.
But unlike the recent debate here in the US, I'm also going to cut you off when you say the same 4 words 8 times within that. Every time I hear you say the same words, sentence after sentence after sentence, and don't add anything new, then we're going to cut your mic as well.
Fine.
Yeah. All right. So let's jump right into it. And I felt very involved in this one because a couple of the things you talked about, I actually was there for, which was super exciting. But the first point that you talked about in that D3, and I'm sorry, for our first time listeners, D3 is this email that Tim puts out. It goes out to a list of individuals. In it, we're very conscious of not blasting everyone and sharing everyone's email. So it goes out via a distro that everyone is BCC'd. But if you'd like to be added to his D3, you can contact him directly on LinkedIn or through our website, and he'd happily add you. So D3 version 9.0. First topic you cover is recovery and extraction of data from mobile phones. And you talk about a new way of attempting to get this data off of the phones.
Yeah, that's right. For a lot of people, this might not be particularly interesting. And I regret prefacing it that way immediately because it is pretty interesting. But
and we just lost half our listeners. Thank you very much. Okay.
Nice having you. So what we're really talking about here is sort of an uplift, an extension of our existing capabilities to exploit phones, to make them sort of regurgitate what we want from them. Phones in particular are very difficult to deal with. They're not like computers traditionally. Computers are fairly static. We can say predictably we'll get these kinds of artifacts and data points from them. Were devices attached? Are there documents on there? The kind of things you would anticipate in an investigation. A little bit different. They're quite elusive. They change all the time. What we can get from them is often based on sort of exploitation work that happens in the community. And then the developers of the phones catch up to that. So if people are on audio only, they'll see my sort of cat and mouse game with my hands. But basically, you're always trying to play catch up. What we're now able to do is bring a sort of hardened set of exploits to these phones, Androids and iPhones in particular. And we can now extract, or at least attempt to extract, more meaningful data from these devices that was once eluding us, some months ago. This includes,
interesting.
Yeah. It includes things like, call logs that were deleted that we didn't see before, and the previous ways we were able to extract those phones. So is it a mountain of new evidence? Not in our testing, but it's showing us things that we might have not been able to see even a few months ago. So with some of our clients, we're actually going back and reinterpreting this data and sort of unearthing new things that are quite valuable to them.
Wow. All right. Very cool. And yeah, I mean, you and I geek out on this stuff. And so hopefully some of our listeners, we didn't bore them with that, but it is interesting. I like this element. I've had some conversations with our forensic colleagues about the challenges of mobile devices, particularly as the operating systems get updated and new versions get rolled out, that the tools that we use to collect the data from it have to catch up. Mm-hmm. And so this is a chance for us now. We're using the tech in a way and leveraging it to be able to get information that previously wasn't there fits in nicely with those prior podcasts that we've had. Let's move on to the second thing that you talk about in the D3. And this one I liked because I was in London a couple of weeks ago, and I had the pleasure of attending the recent roundtable that took place in London with some folks where we talked about AI. And I am sure that our listeners, not all of our listeners, were able to attend that roundtable. So I wanted you to actually share a bit about the use of AI, particularly by IDS's clients, and to stay safe within GDPR and all other rules, as well as the confidentiality provisions in our letters of engagement. You can protect the names of the innocent, and would love for you to share kind of what you're seeing in terms of the use of AI by clients.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, it's an exciting time to sort of properly discuss that topic. It's floated around in the lexicon for 10, 15 years, perhaps a bit ahead of its time, almost undeservingly. We've gotten to the point where AI can be spoken about and leveraged a little more seriously. It's still a lot of statistics on steroids. A lot of it's machine learning that we're leveraging. Our clients are actually using it in some pretty interesting ways. So they're using elements of AI that we're offering to them, or they're doing it on their own. In the case of end clients and corporations, some law firms are a bit more innovative in this space, but we're doing things like object recognition in video and photographs. This is not something you'd traditionally think of in a e-discovery exercise. Quite useful for us. Are certain types of things present in tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of photographs? There's no way to really manually review that quite efficiently without some trainee or NQ being stuck in their office for 800 hours. Commercially that might be attractive for a law firm, but I don't think clients like it very much.
Right.
So there are real improvements in that area that we're toying with and that we're testing right now. We're quite excited to continue to look into that. We'll probably be rolling out some of that as a freemium, and inverted commas and quotations. Maybe people in construction practices here in London, particularly those that deal with large amounts of engineering and site photos and things like that. So we've got some pretty cool stuff coming in that respect. But we're also leveraging what I mentioned a minute ago, a lot more of this machine learning based AI, which, as I mentioned, is just kind of the scoring and ranking of documents relative to one another. And that I'll be as basic as that for now. But things like technology assisted review in the form of predictive coding and continuous active learning as a kind of a prioritized review feeder belt. So a lot of our clients, I'd say 5 new clients in the last 5 months, each with their own new matter, each of a different size and jurisdiction, are all using either TAR or CAL in their products. If you look at that same period a year ago, it would have been 1. And it's not because I don't know if it's because we do a good job in suggesting it as consultants, or if because AI is so pervasive in the zeitgeist and people can't stop hearing about it, even if they put their fingers in their ears. I wonder if that doesn't affect it in some way, the willingness to engage in it. I don't know what you think about that, Jonathan. But
yeah. I agree. I think that it's now Gemini and ChatGPT make it so easy to interact with what people are considering today AI. I can go in, I run a simple query. I don't have to worry about syntax, just type it in, gives me an answer. I can ask it to give me a different version. I can give it more information. I could, before I ask the question, say, I'm in this role. I want you to do this. What questions do you need to ask me before I ask you what you want to do? Type of thing, these prompts. But it's easy, it's fast, and it gives answers that are good enough. Are they perfect? Is it a good first draft? But because there's such easy access to it, I think the fear of what's going on behind the scenes is being removed a bit. So AI in our space is not new. Ranking documents based on a score in terms of responsiveness or potential responsiveness, not new. It's been going on for many, many years, but people were afraid of it. Is it good enough? What's really going on? Again, I think that it's so available now and easy to interact with. There's perhaps a trust factor that goes into it. And so now it's, well, if I don't have to look at all of the documents, the system can tell me which ones I should really focus on. I think that's being embraced. So that's my guess. I said this in, I don't know if I said it at the roundtable or I've said it on another podcast, but if my dad is talking to me about AI, then I know that it's definitely out there and the general public is aware of it, using it, and perhaps even getting comfortable with it. So,
yeah, that's a good bit of insight. We used to call that affectionately the dinner table test.
Well. I'm stealing that. I'm going to have to borrow that. I can't say I'm going to steal it. Now I've got an audience who knows that I said I'm going to take it. All right. So let's move on to the next piece. And I loved this one. I loved your bit on parties and people, or as you rephrased it, party people. Mm-hmm. I know the London team's been very active this first half of the year. And so maybe you can share a bit about the types of activities that you and our other colleagues in London have been up to.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's the social season really begins generally in late May here, but the weather had different plans for us. I think it was by mid-June, it was still kind of cold and raining here off and on.
I brought sunny weather.
Yeah.
I brought warm temps. So whatever happened when I was not there, that's all on you guys.
It is. I think when you come, the weather's nice. I think when Hunter McMahon and other people come, it's less nice.
And I need to come over more often. That's the answer.
I'm a data guy. Yeah. But in terms of the social sort of aspect of things, we've had a lot of fun. And we've taken out our clients to start kind of more intimate events. We do things that range from, playing darts to putt golf to traditional curbside pints. It kind of just depends on the people, the weather, what people have going on. We've also had some more fun interactions at the events around International Disputes Week here in London. There were quite a lot of evening parties, rooftop, kind of late sunbathing, early evening type stuff, which is really nice. Some of us lost our voices, notably Fabrice on our team, but that's a good outcome.
Yeah,
we've also hosted our own parties. We had one at Coq d'Argent here in the city when you were here, Jonathan, which was a nice kind of preamble to summer. We sort of repeated that not too far away. Some weeks later, we were at Madison, which is kind of a premier rooftop terrace here in the city. That was really cool. And I'd actually never been there. Heard about it for many years. I always walk right by it. We had our own party there. Lots of people came. They came in kind of pieces, and it was nice to not have everyone all at once. Those things are great because we love socializing. We love connecting with people and only talking about work if they want to, which is only 10% of it, luckily, when they're there. But the cool thing is that a lot of these people know some of our other guests and clients, and they haven't seen them in 5 years. I mean, maybe COVID added to that, but sometimes it's a way for people who know each other independent of us to kind of get together. And, it feels good being a host and a herder of people, if you like, in that sense. So it was a real treat. And apart from that, we've had people going to events and parties in Vienna, all over the place. It's been quite busy.
Just so people who are listening to us understand, it is, yes, there's definitely fun. It's not all fun and games. We've also been very busy going to events like the London Disputes Week, the conference. There was a conference in Vienna. So I'm also hearing that the team is involved a lot in large scale conferences, attending there, meeting folks there, sharing what we do, as well as perhaps an increase in the in-office meetings and conversations around topics like this AI topic. So definitely happening for you guys there, right? That we're having more and more of these larger group type of presentations as well.
Yeah. That's on the up and up.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I hope you enjoy the next 2 months of nice weather before it gets bad. But November, early in November, I'm coming over. So it's, it'll be delicious weather then.
There's a charm then. It's a little bit brisk. It's not at all cold.
Yeah.
Europe does really well in November. It's a lot of, hot toddies and blankets, and it's good. It's good fun.
Sounds delightful. All right. You then went on to hint at growth of the team. And so what do you want to share on that?
Well, what I will share is that like the US, we're always looking for talented people to grow and scale. Here we're acutely focused on it. We know the types of people we want. We're speaking to them now, and they will be with us in due course.
Love it. Love the fact the team is growing. I think, as you said, maybe in that, keep your eyes posted here to learn more. But yeah, it's I'd say to anybody who's interested in a career with iDS and in any of our service areas, by all means, they can reach out to you, Tim. They can reach out to me. They can go onto our website under the careers page and take a look. Clearly, you and I love working here. I'm sure others would as well. All right. Now, I do want to cover one other topic, and it was not in your D3 because your D3 was published before this, but hot off the presses, I believe June 25th to be exact, or 25th of June, as you might say. iDS's London office got some awesome news with respect to Chambers and Partners. So go for it, mate, because this one earned you and our colleagues many extra pints when I come there in November.
Oh, well, yeah. Thank you very much. It's our team worked really hard since its inception, which was effectively at the absolute outset of the global lockdowns. But we've achieved our UK Chambers and Partners recognition for eDiscovery as a firm after 4 years. Not easy to do. It's a testament to our capability here, our team, and equally so our clients who trust us with their clients, their data, our advice. It's that really is a team effort right there, through and through. So we are no longer living in the shadow of iDS America in terms of Chambers ranking. I'm happy to say.
That is very true, and I think it's very impressive when you look at some of the other organizations that are there, how our team stacks up, and it is 100% a testament to you, to our other colleagues in that London office, and as you said, to the clients that trust us with their matters. So with that, I think we've covered version 9.0. I can't wait for version 10.0. And I'm sure we'll do another podcast then. So Tim, thanks for joining me today on this podcast. I'd also like to thank our regular subscribers and those that may be first-time listeners for spending time with us. If you'd like to learn more about iDS or want to subscribe to our iDS Talks podcast, you can visit idsinc.com or go wherever you normally get your podcasts from. If you happen to be watching this on our YouTube channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you again for joining us, and I look forward to talking more about data with you on our next edition of iDS Talks.